Well, it's absolutely fantastic so far for Tottenham Hotspur under Jose Mourinho this season. They are still top of the Premier League after a 2-0 win over Arsenal. A first half show certainly ended Arsenal's hopes of getting anything from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in front of fans, 2,000 of them. And they certainly would be thrilled to finally see a decent Spurs team under Jose Mourinho. But Luke, let's start off with you. That Son goal was just incredible. And then Harry Kane scoring as well. Both of them have just been an absolute show and a half in the Premier League this season. But surely this is the best duo in the Premier League right now.
Yes, of course. I think they've combined it for 31 goals, Kane and Son. And the record is Drogba and Lampard with 36. They are definitely breaking that record this season. They will probably break it before Christmas. They'll probably break it before the end of the year, to be honest, with the form that they're on at the moment. I thought that Son goal, when it left his foot, I thought, no way is that going in. No way. It's going to go wide. It goes in, and I'm like, oh, wow.
And he knew.
What
he
a
knew,
goal.
didn't he, the moment he kicked it?
It's a great strike. Awful defending.
Yeah, 2 yards away from
dodgy bit of positioning.
It was 2 metre social distancing, Luke. They had to respect him.
Hey, at least the defenders were respecting the rules, because they were all over the place. And Harry Kane is showing why he is the best player in the league. 7 goals, 10 assists.
It's crazy.
He will definitely beat Henry and De Bruyne's record of 20 assists this season if he doesn't get injured. But, oh, wow, what a good... It was all done in the first half. As soon as Spurs went in 2-0 up, it was like, right, game done. Don't need to attack now because we've won it. We know Arsenal not going to break us down. It's a classic Mourinho performance. It reminded me a bit of the City-Spurs game when City were trying to, attack Spurs, and Spurs just hit on the counter-attack. It was literally the same again. Arsenal come out, try and press, lose the ball in attack, and then go down the other end, and Son scores the banger. It just made no sense. I thought Arsenal would have gone back to, let's park the double-decker bus. Let's do what we did at Old Trafford, which was sit behind the ball, let Spurs have the ball, because they knew Mourinho didn't want the ball. Like, his teams do their best work when they don't have the ball. But Arsenal just played right into Mourinho's trap. And it's like, Arteta's lost his second consecutive London derby. It's,
I mean, Joe, Joe, it's been over 12 months now since Mourinho has taken over Spurs. And I mean, for a lot of us, especially myself, we didn't expect it to go this well. I certainly didn't. Not with the fact that he's not really made much changes to the team either, if you think about it, in terms of player recruitment and all that. The big names are still there, of Harry Kane, Son, for example. I mean, what a season they're having at the moment. And Joe, when you've got a manager like Mourinho, the experience he has, can't get a foot wrong really right now.
Jose Mourinho, I've said it before and I'll say it again, world-class manager still. People say that he was overrated or Spurs made the wrong appointment. And I wasn't quite sure at the time whether it was the right decision to get rid of Mauricio Pochettino. I know that Tottenham was struggling, but he'd done well, previously. I thought maybe given to January, but I think Spurs got it spot on. Daniel Levy made the difficult decision, got rid of Pochettino, brought in a proven serial winner with Mourinho. He won the Champions League at Porto, Champions League at Inter. He won the league at Porto, the league with Chelsea, the league with Inter, the league with Real. He's won the league in 4 different countries. He's won the Champions League with 2 different clubs. He's won the Europa League with United and Porto again. He's won trophies everywhere, and he'll bring silverware to Tottenham at some point. I was discussing with a friend of mine, Harris, who's probably watching this video today. He said that Tottenham this season reminded him of 2014 Liverpool, in the sense that he said that Son and Kane remind him of Suarez and Sturridge, and the fact that they just scored goals for fun. He said he doesn't know whether they'll have the blip or the slip, as we use, but I prefer not to use that term, as happened in 2014. But I think what Jose Mourinho has done with Tottenham, he's worked on their defensive team. As he said, what was it he said in that documentary? Mind my language, but he said, when you've got, what's it? Nice guys don't win anything. You've got to be nasty bastards. I think it was, or something along those lines. I might have used the C bomb. I'm not sure. I used a swear word anyway. He said, so you've got to be absolutely horrible on the pitch. You can be nice guys off the pitch, but on the pitch, you've just got to play a bit harder and a bit more grit and desire and take anything to win. And they've gone from a soft side to one of the hardest teams to beat. They don't get dominated on the ball anymore in the middle of the park. And Harry Kane and Killman-Son are cynical. And Son only scores world-class goals, doesn't he? You look at the one he scored against Burnley last year around this time. Unreal.
Seb, Arsenal, though, Mikel Arteta, again, they've gone away from home and gone up against, a top 6 club and not picked up a result and not even scored. I mean, they went to Liverpool and, okay, they got a goal there and that was an own goal, didn't really turn up. Went to Manchester City and didn't really turn up. I mean, it's hard because, like, for Mikel Arteta, I've been like with Solskjaer, I always say give the man time because it takes time. It feels like ages ago when they won the FA Cup, and that was only a few months ago. But at the end of the day, he needs time to build. And in the second half, they played better, but their final third is just not there, is it?
Simple answer, no. And I get that people need to build things, and that makes perfect sense. But I mentioned it to you yesterday that, I mean, if Brighton win in the coming hours while we're recording, they'll go ahead of Arsenal. We're coming to nearly a third way through the season, a third way through the season, and Arsenal will be 16th. It's not good enough, and you can't spend 50 million on Partey. You can't spend I can't even think of the top of my head. You can't give Aubameyang that long contract, and to expect 16th at this stage of the season to be okay, it's clearly not. And I've been a big critic of Arteta even before the Arsenal bandwagon jumped on the Arteta out hashtag or movement, should we call it? I don't even get it anymore because Lacazette was probably their best player yesterday, which says a lot considering he's been left out a lot.
Yeah, I didn't even rate him either. I mean, that's the weird thing.
He was the one who put in the challenges for Arsenal. I think he
missed a City yesterday. He missed a City.
Yeah. But he also had a great. Hugo Lloris also made a great save on one of his shots. I think I checked the stats and something like he went in for 14 tackles, went in for 6 aerial duels, things like that. And Aubameyang, every time I looked at the stats, it was how many tackles did he go in for? None. How many duels did he go in for? None. And Arsenal just seem outnumbered. I think it's also weird that when we think, okay, they should probably play 3 at the back, 5 in midfield, 4 in mid. There are different systems, but every time they play a certain system, you always say there's something missing. They're outnumbered almost without being outnumbered, and that to me says that the squad isn't good enough as well. And I also want to come back to a few weeks ago. I don't know if the stat is still valid now, but I think there were only about 2 players more creative than Ozil this calendar year, and Ozil hasn't played for Arsenal since March. So
I still can't believe he dropped Ozil.
Sideways passing. I mean, Tottenham had barely any possession, but some of their players made. I mean, Arsenal players, none of them made more than 1 key pass. It just says everything. And I also want to come up to an interesting stat. It's just stale possession, what Arteta's doing. Only 2 Tottenham players succeeded more passes than Bernd Leno yesterday, and that was Dyer and Højbjerg. The rest, Bernd Leno, it's good having this possession style game, but it's not bringing a lot to Arsenal, not scoring and not doing anything. And it's just, I think it's looking a bit bleak, isn't it? I don't know what they can do without any money, without a decent manager. I don't know.
Could this, Luke? Here's a bit of a question. Here's a question for you. If this form continues, they've lost a few games now. As Seb just said, they're actually technically in a relegation survivor, which no one would really look at it that way yet. But is Mikel Arteta going to be gone before the new year if this carries on?
Yes. Oh, come on, he's got yes, he will get sacked. I know the club has said we back him, he's our guy, trust the process, but there's nothing there. It baffles me. His decisions baffle me. his style of play baffles me. He goes from a 3 at the back, and then despite the fact he wants to play free-flowing, attacking football, and like if you wanted to do that, like I'm sure Arsenal fans would have appreciated if you did want to play the 4-3-3, to play your style, the style that you wanted. And if you don't get if you lose a couple of games, but the fans see what you're trying to do, it's easier to buy into. Instead of this defensive, boring double-decker bus. Yeah, let's get parked. Oh look, we've gone to the top 6. We didn't get battered by City. Yeah, because City didn't even need to get out of second gear. City were there for the taking that game.
They were. Yeah.
Completely. And I hate when said, "Oh, we went to Anfield and we didn't get battered." Yes, you did. Yes, you did get
always
battered.
Hurts
Liverpool
you, doesn't it? That keeps
decided to not go on your Liverpool that game. If they wanted to stick their foot on the throats of Arsenal, they would have done it with ease.
I know.
With the food.
I thought Arsenal went to Anfield. When they got that goal, I was watching the game with my dad. I said, look, I'm not saying they'll beat Liverpool, but they've got to give it a go. Always, what's the point?
Yeah.
And there's one thing about Arteta is that I said this to you a lot as well. It's his first job. I mean, there's no proof, there's no history that this is going to get better. I mean, if you're a manager like Mourinho, and I'd say that Mourinho's start to Tottenham wasn't great, and even after lockdown, I still wasn't convinced by the beginning till maybe a few matches ago. So, but Mourinho's he's got so much to prove in his past that says that he's a good manager. Arteta does not. And how long can you hold on to that belief that he will become a good manager? I'm curious to know how long Arsenal are willing to wait.
There is a difference of being there's a difference of being a good coach. Like obviously Sterling said Arteta helped him a lot at City. But it's a different ball game being a good coach than it is to being a good manager. Because when he first came in, he was head coach at Arsenal. Then Arsenal was like, he's the manager. He comes out saying, I've been backed. He said, the board have backed me. And then you come out and...
They did, though.
And then you hear it like, him and Edu had a disagreement. Arteta wanted Aouar from Lyon. Edu wanted Partey. And it's like, that's a problem as well, right? Because when you go into a club, you want the owners, the board, the director of football, and the manager to be all working on the same page.
Yeah.
And that's when, like City, everyone works on the same page, and Liverpool. Those are probably the two best run clubs in the league. And guess what? The simple structure. Like, if Arteta goes, right, like, let's say he does get the sack, which I think he doesn't last the new year. Because let's be honest, even if he does beat Burnley, right, they've got a difficult run of fixtures. And you can imagine Boxing Day, when they get turned over by Chelsea, you're going to see all the Arsenal fan base, all the people saying, that's the process, Arsenal fan TV, people backing him. They're going to turn because that will ruin their Christmas and be like, Arteta out. Like, they're done. I know there's some fans that are saying it already, but like, as Seb said, you don't know if it's going to get better. The only thing he's done in his career is taking the cones out for Pep. And even in the City documentary, what did Arteta do? Nothing.
It really does feel like it.
And even in the one game, Pep let Arteta take charge. Guess what? They lost. So there's no evidence that he's going to be a good manager.
It really does feel like you're driving at night, you go down a country lane, and you have no idea where you're going. Yeah, the lights aren't on, you don't know where you're going down this road, and that really does feel like that with Mikel Arteta. But we must end it there. Let us know at home, what do you think? Is Arteta going to be gone before the new year? Is he the right man for Arsenal? And where can Spurs go with this team? They're certainly flying high at the moment. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you soon.